You're listening to my WorldNet Daily exclusive audio article. Today's WorldNet Daily exclusive audio article is entitled "The Secret to Stealing an Election." And if it can't be stolen, the chaos already arising may put the result, if there is one, of the general election in serious doubt. I was listening to the Glenn Beck radio show the other day. He was not talking about how the Democrats were planning to steal the election by means of mail-in voting. What he was speaking of was chaos. We've witnessed for months how the left has fomented chaos through Antifa and the Black Lives Matter movement. Anyone with eyes can see these movements were not created for the purpose of equality or rights or even reparations. It's all about the chaos, the protests, the riots, the violence, the looting, and the destruction. Then there's the conspiratorial nonsense of Trump hauling away mailboxes by the truckload, causing yet more chaos. The fact that it happens all the time due to usage and changing demographics is mere coincidence. And by sheer happenstance, all this is leading up to the presidential election. It's all about the election, at least to start. Now comes the push for mail-in voting, something America has never attempted on a grand scale. Attempting to institute something like this will result in chaos on a national scale, a scale America has never experienced. It's just what the doctor ordered, if the doctor is a radical leftist. Glenn cited the hundreds of thousands of ballot applications sent just in the state of Virginia by a leftist non-profit organization, the Center for Voter Information. How do I know they're leftists? Well, I had to look no further than the money they raised and who they funneled it to. Every dime raised by this non-profit has been spent to promote Democrats, and not a shilling toward Republicans. Shocker. They sent out more than 500,000 forms to eligible voters. Quote, the Center for Voter Information said the absentee application mailings were sent to eligible voters in the state, and some of the mailers may have been directed to return envelopes for the absentee applications to the wrong elections offices, unquote, writes Just the News. Now this is a powerful statement and needs to be unpacked. First, the return mailers were addressed to the wrong election offices. I wonder where they may end up. Certainly not anywhere where they could be manipulated and then forwarded to the correct address. That's just conspiracy talk. But then there's the issue of to whom they were mailed. They were mailed not to registered voters, but to eligible voters. An eligible voter is just a citizen of legal age, presumably alive and human, who is not currently registered to vote. Many states don't even offer mail-in registration at all, but for the states that do, the eligible voter must request an official form. They are not mailed en masse by leftist non-profits. Still, if additional voters are to be found, that's a mighty big field to harvest, as it were. There are millions of eligible voters who remain unregistered. Quote, official statistics vary, but conservative estimates calculated using data from the U.S. Census Bureau's most recent voting and registration supplement indicates that 21.4% of citizens were not registered to vote in 2014, unquote. In 2016, there were no less than 71 million registered voters that didn't cast a ballot. Between the two, registered but didn't vote, and unregistered, that's about 100 million potential mail-in votes, enough to swing or at least put any election in doubt. If there is any question as to why the left is pushing so hard for mail-in voting, there should be no more. Already we've seen on just a small scale that mail-in voting is fraught with problems, lost ballots, slow and missed counts. And worse, this new, untried system is ripe for fraud like vote harvesting. On a national scale, it would be a disaster, dare I say, chaos, which is exactly what the left is hoping for. The object is to prevent Trump from being declared the winner, and on a large enough scale, this mail-in vote scheme would surely do it. Thank you for listening.